pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This meeting has been noticed in compliance with the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. This commission acts in review and recommending capacity for designations and removal of historic properties and districts. The commission also reviews proposed National Register of Historic Places nominations. The commission has final decision-making authority on certificates of historic appropriateness. My name is English Hurto, and I'm the chair. To my right, Anna Johnson, Amy Gerard, Joseph Dukes. To my left is Vice Chair Donna Gardner, Michael German, Pat Jones, and Brent Halverson. Seated to my right is Assistant County Attorney Mark Bell, and to my left, Joel Evans, Director of Zoning and Planning. Would you like to introduce staff?
Sure. Andrea Melisick-White, the Deputy Director of Zoning and Planning. Emily Piggott, who will be presenting today. Monica Eustace, who will also be presenting. Tamara Avery will be presenting today as well. And Chris Cohn. Yes, there's Chris. Chris works with Tamara. Stephanie Ondo, of course. She's here all the time. And in the back, I believe I see Carrie Vache. She's with our Site Plan Review Division.
Thanks, Joel. I would like to remind the commissioners that in order to get a good recording of the meeting for the minutes, please speak loudly and clearly into your microphones. The next agenda item is the approval of the minutes from the April 16th, 2025 meeting. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Chair Hurto,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukes. Aye. Commissioner Halverson,
Aye.
Commissioner German,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
I'm going to abstain since I wasn't here.
Vice Chair Gardner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gerard,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you. The next agenda item is SBDV-07-24-02865, a subdivision plat application report. Thank you, Tamara.
Great, thank you. Yes, this application was a minor subdivision that came to our department for review. It's subject property TMS number 577-00- Start what? Oh, okay. 577-00-00-108. And the application was taking one existing lot and subdividing it into two lots. The future land use of the property, this is the map from our GIS overlay. It's recommended for urban, suburban, cultural community protection. The property is zoned S3, and this is the S3 zoning minimum lot requirements within Chapter 4 of our ordinance for special management districts. Again, the current zoning of the property from our GIS overlay. A current aerial view of the property. A FEMA flood zone map. And site photos from where we posted the meeting notice of the subject property and then the surrounding areas. And this is the plat that was submitted to staff by the surveyor. It is one lot, as you can see, the perimeter in the heavy dark line, and then you show the subdivision to creating the two lots. There is an existing structure on the front of the parcel with a lot being created at the rear. So according to South Carolina State Law, Section 6-29-340, functions, powers, and duties of local planning commission, Section B, subsection 2B, regulations for the subdivision or development of land and appropriate revisions thereof, and to oversee the administration of the regulations that may be adopted as provided in this chapter. And the Planning Commission is also responsible for an official map and appropriate revisions on the showing the exact location of existing or proposed public streets, highways, and utilities, right-of-way, and public building sites, together with regulations to control the erection of buildings or other structures, or changing in land within the rights-of-way, building sites, or open spaces within its political jurisdiction or a specified portion of it as set forth to this chapter. So every subdivision plat that you all will see, it will also then go to Planning Commission, and this plat is going to Planning Commission at their next scheduled date. For Historic Preservation Ordinance, the Charleston County Historic Preservation Ordinance, Section 21-6, A represents subdivision plat application reports, and that is what this commission is responsible for. The purpose, in order to encourage and preserve the preservation of historic character of historic properties and historic districts, preliminary and minor subdivision plat applications as defined in the Charleston County ZLDR for historic properties / districts and properties located within 300 feet of the historic properties / districts must be evaluated by the commission prior to final determination by the Charleston County Planning Commission. Charleston County Historic Preservation Ordinance, Section 21-6.d, Commission Public Hearing and Report, and that is what we're doing today. The Commission shall evaluate each subdivision plat application subject to Section 21-6, subdivision plat application reports for compliance with the cultural resources elements of the comprehensive plan. The Commission shall provide a report on the application to the Planning Commission that addresses whether and how the application is or is not consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the cultural resource element of the comprehensive plan. A majority of the HPC members present and voting shall be required. The Commission shall not defer a subdivision plat application. And we also posted this as notice. And this is the section from the comprehensive plan for the cultural resource elements goal. And these are the criteria of the cultural resource element strategies and time frame that you would review and determine whether the plat is consistent or is not consistent with the comprehensive plan. And for public notice, 263 notification letters were sent to individuals of the East Cooper and Historic Preservation Settlement Communities and Settlement Commission interested parties list, as well as properties owners within 300 feet of the subject parcel. It was also posted in the Post and Courier, and signs were posted on 4/22/2025. And from that public notice, we received 2 comments in support. And so for the commission member report, pursuant to Section 21-6 D and E of the Historic Preservation Ordinance, no motions shall be made or votes. Staff will call the roll, and to determine if it is consistent or inconsistent, each member can provide a specific reasons to support their decision for the record, and the reasons provided will be included with the Planning Commission presentation.
We appreciate staff's comprehensive report. Are there any questions for staff from commission members? Okay.
We had 2 people sign
Oh,
up to
sorry.
speak. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
We will now hear public comment. Each
Yeah.
speaker will be limited to 2 minutes.
And we had 2 people to sign up. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted
Oh,
you.
no, that's okay.
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 Yep. Lily Johnson.
Lily Johnson, 1593 Hamlin Road. I will be the owner of the property. My father currently owns the entire parcel. Outside of college and living in a community nearby, I have lived in the Hamlin community. I look forward to returning back and building a single-family home on the subdivided property. I work in the community. I have shared with the Town of Mount Pleasant Settlement Communities Task Force a few years ago. So the Hamlin community and other communities in Charleston County mean a lot to me. So it is my pleasure that you all move this forward so that I can move forward with building my home. Thank you.
And Myra Snipe Richardson.
Good day. My name is Mara Snipe Richardson, 2755 Earl Johnson Lane. I'm the current president of the Hamlin Beach Community Association. We are truly excited to be here in front of this commission as we encourage our young people to come back home. Ms. Johnson and her family are longstanding residents of the Hamlin Beach community. We're excited that she wants to come back home, wants to be a part of the community, as she still are a part of the community, helping with the association. And this is just a positive for the community to have the younger ones coming back home to be on their ancestral property that has been in this community since 1881 when it was established. Her family is very important to the community. Her legacy, her heritage, everything is there. So thank you for moving this forward so she can come back home. Thank you.
And that was it for speakers.
Okay. The report is now closed to public comment. This commission provides a report on the consistency of the application with the comprehensive plan. The report is made from the findings of the commission. The floor is now open to discussion from commission members. If there is no further discussion, we will vote on the, oh, sorry. Oh, yes.
I just had a question, Chair. Is the report, do we currently have a report on it, or has it been produced yet? Other than the one you just read?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So your commission will basically, each commissioner will determine if it is consistent or inconsistent and list the like CR1, CR2, and then we will take that information and put it together for a report to the Planning Commission.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I forgot to turn this on. I'm sorry. So this property is being divided in to a half acre.
Not quite. It's like the 13,000. Is that how much it is?
I could go back to the plat.
Oh, I thought it was,
Tell us the square footage, the acreage of
When-
the parent tract, and then the square footage or acreage of the two lots that are being. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's super small.
I think I'm reading 13,000, but I'm not sure. It might be 19.
Yeah, one's 19,000 it looks like. So it's like a half an acre and then 0.447 of an acre.
okay, so this will meet the requirements then if there's a septic tank.
Yes,
Or
that's part
sewer.
of the subdivision process is they either have to provide a septic permit from DHEC or they have to pay impact and tap fees for sewer service.
But do we know if sewer is offered in that area or not?
Chris reviewed this. Is it a septic permit for this one?
It's water through Waterworks. The impact fee was paid.
So
Sewer.
public sewer.
Sewer.
Yeah, public
Yes.
sewer.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, so if there is no further discussion, we will vote on the report. So when your name is called, please state whether the subdivision application is consistent or not consistent, and cite one of the cultural resource element strategies.
You have to make a motion first?
No.
You don't, there's not a motion on our subdivision
Oh, okay.
or a second, since it's a report that goes to, forwarded on to the planning commission. So we just go through each one's name, and then we create the report based on what each commissioner says, whether it's consistent or not with the comprehensive plan. Right.
Commissioner Jones? Commissioner Jones?
It is consistent, and I cite CR1, continue to promote historic preservation and enhance the county's historic preservation ordinance, as well as CR3, continue to work with communities along the Gullah Geechee corridor to preserve the unique settlement patterns and community character, including historic property and district designations, community plans, and overlay zoning districts.
Chair Hurteau?
It is consistent, and I cite CR1 and CR5.
Commissioner Dukes?
It is consistent, and I cite CR1 and CR5.
Commissioner Halverson?
It's consistent under the comp plan for under 3.44 CR1 and CR3, and I think specifically because the applicant coming to return to the community is inherently preserving, by definition, the settlement communities.
Commissioner German?
I support the applicants. The applicant is consistent, and I support CR1 and CR3. And then again, just because members from the community are here, and I feel that the community is supporting this effort as well.
Commissioner Johnson?
The application is consistent with our comprehensive preservation ordinance, and I cite CR1, CR3, and CR5.
Vice Chair Gardner?
I believe that it is consistent, and I cite CR1, CR3, CR5, and CR13, continuing to ensure protection of cultural resources by mitigating flood risks and high water impacts.
Commissioner Gerard?
The application is consistent, and I'll cite CR3.
Okay, the body is stating that they believe it's consistent, citing CR 1, 5, 3, and 13.
Thank you. The Planning Commission will hear this subdivision plat application at their June 9, 2025 meeting at 2 p.m. in council chambers. The next agenda item is HIST 0425000134, a request for a certificate of historic appropriateness. Monica?
Yes. This certificate of historic appropriateness request is for the construction of a 1,500 square foot Take 5 oil change facility on TMS 285-00-00-018 at 3675 Savannah Highway, a property within 300 feet of St. Mark's UME Church, a county designated historic site. The application for the 1,500 square foot Take 5 oil change facility is for the subject property 285-00-00-018 that is within 300 feet of the St. Mark's Union Methodist Episcopal Church, a county designated historic site. The site has frontage on both Savannah Highway and Old Charleston Road. Only the bottom right-hand corner of the site falls within the 300-foot buffer, which is less than 1/10 of an acre. The only development proposed in this area are the required landscape buffers and minor utility work for water service connection and stormwater management. The designation of St. Mark's UME Church as a historic site occurred in October of 2021, and the subject property is within 300 feet of this historic site. Recent applications for this parcel include a BZA application for the removal of 2 grand trees that was approved with conditions on January 6, 2025, and a site plan review application that was pending corrections as of March 25, 2025. However, the site plan is in an approvable state. The St. Mark's Union Methodist Episcopal Church was established in 1913 following the separation from the Reformed Methodist Union Episcopal Church in 1912. It is considered the mother church of the 12 Union Methodist Episcopal churches located in North and South Carolina. St. Mark's Union Methodist Episcopal Church was designated as a county historic site in October 2021, and the current church structure was constructed in 1969. Here is the location of the subject property when looking at the county as a whole. This map shows the subject property's location off Savannah Highway and Old Charleston Road. It also shows its proximity to the historic site of St. Mark's UME Church. There have been no approved CHA applications within 500 feet of the subject property. This map shows the subject property's location in relation to nearby commercial businesses also within the 300 feet of St. Mark's UME Church, which include an AutoZone, an Auto Bell Car Wash, Triad Mechanical Contractors, and Angel Oak Restaurant and Bar. The subject property is zoned industrial and is undeveloped. The future land use designation is commercial. Surrounding properties to the east and south are also zoned industrial and contain either commercial businesses, single-family dwelling units, or are undeveloped. The properties to the west and north are in the city of Charleston and are either vacant or contain multifamily dwelling units. The subject parcel is in the AE11 and Shaded X flood zones. Here is an aerial view of the subject property. These are photos of the subject property at its frontages off Savannah Highway and Old Charleston Road. These are photos of the surrounding properties at 3681 and 3669 Savannah Highway. And these are photos of the St. Mark's UME Church at 3657 Old Charleston Road. This is the proposed site plan showing the 1,500 square foot Take 5 oil change facility, required parking, and access points off Savannah Highway and Old Charleston Road. Here is the aerial map with the proposed site plan overlaid for context in the red box and St. Mark's UME Church in the gold box. This is the proposed site plan showing the Take 5 oil change facility with the portion that falls within the 300-foot buffer overlaid on the site. Only 2,770 square feet, or 0.06 of an acre, is within the buffer. These are the proposed front and rear elevations. And here are the left side and right side elevations. Staff response to the first criteria is that the applicant is seeking approval for the construction of a 1,500 square foot Take 5 oil change facility and is within 300 feet of St. Mark's UME Church, a county designated historic site. The subject parcel has frontage on both Savannah Highway and Old Charleston Road, and the proposed building addresses the Savannah Highway frontage. The portion of the site that falls within the 300-foot buffer is 2,770 square feet, or 0.06 of an acre. The necessary landscaping buffers and minimal utility work for stormwater management and water service hookup are the only developments planned in this region. Staff response to the second criteria is, as the subject parcel has no identifiable contributing resources, Section 21-5.H.3 Commission consideration should be used to analyze this application. Since the majority of the construction is situated along the Savannah Highway frontage and will not be visible from the church site, The planned site modifications will not have an impact on or diminish the historic integrity of the St. Mark's UME Church historic site. None of the community's noteworthy characteristics included in the County Council classification appear to be impacted by the development. Staff response to the third criteria is that no negative impacts to the St. Mark's UME Church historic site have been identified. Therefore, this criterion has been met. Based on the applicant's responses, we believe the application meets the approval criteria. Therefore, staff recommends approval with the following condition: that all major changes shall be processed pursuant to Section 21-5.m, modifications to approved certificates of historic appropriateness of the Historic Preservation Ordinance. No public comments in support or opposition to this request were received. This meeting was noticed as required.
Thank you, Monica. We appreciate staff's comprehensive report. Are there any questions for staff from commission members?
I've got one question. I'm not clear on. I got one question. I'm really not clear on, I know the 300 feet buffer, and I wish I can go back to the slide with the green circle. Does this building intrude in that buffer zone? Is it? No, it does not? Okay.
Let's be sure everyone's clear on that. I think that's a good point. This slide shows the church outlined in the gold. Then the red circle around that, that's the 300-foot radius of the buffer. And the subject property is the item that has the flag on it all the way to the left, that is undeveloped, that is wooded. You can see a sliver of the corner of the property is captured in that 300-foot buffer. But almost equally important is you can see the number of businesses that do exist already that are well within the buffer. This particular application, compared to everything else that exists within the buffer, this building is not even in that sliver. It's up closer to Savannah Highway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there?
And I didn't have my microphone on.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Are there any other questions? Okay, so now we will hear public comment. Each speaker will be limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name and address before giving your comments.
Now I'm going to turn it on. Claudia Lawton.
Good evening. My name is Claudia Lawton. I'm actually living on 8455 Scottsmore Drive. The undeveloped property, which consists of lot 5, 6, 7, and 8, was a part of a redemption sale back in 2019. The tax were delinquent. The redemption sale went back to 2015. And I redeemed the property. Well, actually, let me back up because I'm learning some of the language. I thought I was helping out with a tax lien property. And so in 2019, I redeemed it, and I've been paying the stormwater fees and the property tax since then. So I have a copy of all the taxes, the original redemption tax, and stormwater fees. And this year, a couple of years ago, I purchased my mom's house, West Ashley, and when I go pay the taxes, which is Charleston County, I paid both of them at the same time. So I was able to go get the deed for my mom's house. And I was told by the Charleston County offices that I needed to get an attorney to straighten out the tax lien part. And I did receive a letter to come here today, if that kind of makes sense. But it's right next to the church. It's four lots right next to the church.
I'm still lost.
Did that have anything to do with?
Can you pull the map up and show?
We're going to pull the map up.
Yeah.
It's on the opposite side of Old Charlestown Road, or Charleston Road, from what we're discussing, but it's on the same side of the historic church.
Yeah, so ma'am, just so you know, This commission is just considering a certificate of historic appropriateness for one particular property that happens to have its primary access on Savannah Highway. It's across from the church, and the only reason why they're here is there's a sliver of the property that falls within the 300-foot radius of the church. So are you saying that there is a tax issue on that property?
It's 4 lots right next to the church. So if you're coming in from,
But that doesn't have anything to do with this property.
I'm only coming here because the letter tell me to be here today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Will someone please get with her?
So-
There's something going on.
Yeah, I'll just clarify. So we send out letters to all property owners within 300 feet of the subject property.
Right.
So that's likely the notification that she received,
Okay,
just informing her
I'm
of the
with you.
meeting.
Right, that's why you got notified.
Yeah.
But this commission, they're only talking about the one property that's being proposed for anything else, there's no information.
I understand. This
Okay.
just, invested interest in this, and I had this sent to me, in which I am doing what Charleston County Tax Officers tell
Okay.
me to clear it up with the attorney.
I understand.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay, thank you. Let's see if I get this right. Glenn Snipe? Is it Glenn? Am I right? Okay. You were with her? Okay, sorry. Oh.
And I'm Doris Johnson.
Yes, you're at the end. You're not quite ready. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Glenn's not going to speak, I guess. Is that right? Glenn, you're not going to speak? Okay. All right, we're getting close to you, Doris. Chris Orman, this is the applicant.
Good afternoon. Chris Orman, 1195 Lee Boulevard, Orangeburg, South Carolina. I'm the development manager on this project. We've been working on it for a while. Excited about it. As you can see, we've gone through BZA, site plans and approvable condition. We learned about the proximity to the church, and I feel like we've got a site plan that works well. 0.06 of a sliver of the acreage is in that proximity, and it's going to be left in the state that it's in, other than the landscaping requirements and whatever utilities work is done there. We are excited about it and think that this is a project that doesn't have any impact on the church, and happy to answer any questions that anybody has on it.
Any questions?
Thank you for coming forward and speaking. Just had one question. In terms of the maintenance of the property that you anticipate, where would anything be stored? I'm not sure exactly, just in terms of where that buffer area is on that side closest to Old Charleston Road. Would there be anything noticeably stored there that would be visible? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
I got a question to follow up. Just I think that's what I saw on the drawing earlier. Your property, your new project does touch, even if it's a slither of the historical 300 feet requirement. How much of that slither is being used? And my question is, if you knew that, why didn't you just bump it back if it's just a slither to take it out of the 300 feet radius?
Will you show the site plan again, Monica? So, yeah, so that everyone understands. Go back to the site plan part of it that shows the driveway and all. Yeah. Okay. So in this picture here, this lot, this is an existing lot of record. So there's nothing that can be moved outside of the buffer. And in fact, you can see that the driveway has been, instead of going straight back, they curved it over as you're going out toward Old Charleston. They curved it over to the right to keep the driveway out of the buffer as well. So as was stated by staff and the applicant, the only thing that is inside that 300-foot radius is landscaping. You'll see that there's a slight, what we call the apron of the driveway that pierces it by about maybe 20 square feet, 15, but that's it. The driveway and everything else is outside of the buffer, and nothing will be done except the landscaping and maybe a utility, an underground utility. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that kind of answers my question again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think that's it.
That's it.
All right. Thank y'all.
Yeah. Okay, Doris is the last speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Doris Johnson. I am a former pastor of St. Mark Unity Church. I was a part of St. Mark becoming a historical landmark. There's a piece of property right there at 3660 Old Charleston Highway that sits directly in the front of St. Mark Unity Church. It's vacant. My ministry, Doris Johnson Ministry, owns that little piece of property right there. I live at 3666 Old Charlestown Highway. Traffic begins on Old Charlestown Highway at 4:30 every morning. I have problems getting out of my own driveway to leave, and another business there is a problem for me. How is it that St. Mark received historical status? We talked about climate control, water contamination, and the disruption of the ecosystem, as well as oil spill. Well, if it's all there, is it even possible that the water or the oil could escape into the marsh? How will it affect St. Mark Unity Church? So this is a very much concern for us as far as it being there. We oppose it. I spoke to the president of Red Top Community, Dr. Ann Hughes, as well. The Red Top community was just featured in an article dealing with the salt marshes and Rantos Creek and the Stoner River. My concern is, how is it going to affect St. Mark Union Methodist Episcopal Church and that little piece of, that little sand right there at 3660 Old Charlestown Highway that's not even mentioned in the site plan I see up there. And we're right there in the midst of it, adjacent to it, and right across the street from the church. So that's my say, and I would not like to see it go forth. If nothing else, traffic and the preservation of St. Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that the last speaker?
It is.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the case is now closed to public comment. Before discussion, is there a motion and a second from the commission? When making a motion, please cite how each of the specific approval criteria have or have not been met.
Can you go to the slide, Monica, please?
So do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Can you cite the?
Yeah. I believe that for the same reasons that are evident in the staff response for the first criteria, as they observed, the landscaping, it will be in the 300-foot buffer, and that is it. And it represents only 6/100ths of the project. Therefore, it doesn't harm in any way the site, so, or in any way affect the church, which we're very concerned with, of course. But and we only have the authority under our ordinance to say whether it meets these criteria, not whether it can be what it is and what it's authorized to be. That's for somebody else. So for criteria 1, I believe it has literally no impact on under that criteria. For criteria 2, we have to evaluate it under section 21-5H.3 of the ordinance, which I think for the same reasons that you can't see, you won't be able to see the oil change business from the church, from my understanding from the staff observations, which I have no reason to dispute. And criteria 3, staff also identified no negative impacts. So for those reasons, I move to approve.
Okay, is there any discussion from the commissioners?
I have, I have a question about the comment the pastor about the oil spill and water impacting the church. Do y'all have, can I ask a question about if there is any well water going to the church, or what kind of water do you have? I mean, why there's a concern there?
I don't know what the water service is to the church. I'm going to assume that it's municipal water, that it's not well water. It's municipal water, okay.
Municipal water?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as regarding oil spills or the use of, those are things that are regulated by DHEC and other state agencies, whether it's at this location or any other location, where all of the, whether it's oil or what other fluid is that's removed or transferred from a vehicle, those are all have to be contained, from my understanding, and then they get picked up, correct, from, yeah, so, yeah.
You're saying that there's no way possible that there could be any oil spillage at all? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying, I'm just saying that that is not regulated by the county. That's regulated by other state and federal agencies, and they regulate how those items get stored on the property and get picked up.
Okay. If there is no further discussion, is now time. Oh, you need, okay, Donna. Okay, it's time for the vote.
Chair Hurteau?
Who's second?
Commissioner Jones did, I think. Right?
Who's
Did you
second?
second?
I did.
Oh, Jones.
Ms. Jones, yeah.
Chair Hurteau?
Aye.
Commissioner Dukes?
Aye.
Commissioner Halverson? Aye. Commissioner German?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
No, negative. I feel that even though DHEC has some regulations there, I don't know if there's any impact there, but since there has been a mention of some concern, I think I just want to note that my vote is a no.
Vice Chair Gardner? Aye. Commissioner Gerard? Aye. Commissioner Jones? Aye. The ayes have it.
This is the final decision of the Historic Preservation Commission. If any person with a substantial interest in a decision of the Historic Preservation Commission chooses to appeal this decision, they may do so to the Circuit Court of Charleston County. Such appeal shall be filed within 30 calendar days after today's date. The next agenda item is a vote on the proposed amendments to the HPC rules and procedures.
All right, you guys. So we presented this at the last meeting, just proposing to add some language to our rules and procedures to address tie votes. So just a reminder, I'm going to read through it. In the case of a tie vote on an application for historic designation, removal of historic designation, amendment to historic designation, or a certificate of historic appropriateness, the application shall be deferred to the next Historic Preservation Commission meeting agenda agenda for a vote. So you all are voting to, one way or the other to include or not include this proposed language from staff. Any questions?
Yes. So you're saying that if we vote one time and it's a tie, then this item would be referred to the following meeting?
Exactly. So
And we do the same thing again?
Yeah, and that came up at the last meeting. What if, it were to be deferred again? But we are hopeful that if it were to be a tie vote at one commission meeting, that would mean that there would be somebody not present, since we have a commission of 9, or somebody that had to, recuse or maybe something like that. So hopefully at the next meeting, we would have a full commission that would be able to vote on that. But in theory, yes, it could be deferred multiple times within reason. And that would, of course, be up to the director ultimately.
Thank you.
Of course.
Are there any other questions? Can I get a motion and a second from the commission, please?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion from the commission members? If there is no further discussion, it is time for the vote.
Chair Hurteau?
Aye.
Commissioner Dukes?
Aye.
Commissioner Halverson?
Aye.
Commissioner German?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Vice Chair Gardner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gerard? Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there is no further business, this meeting of the Charleston County Historic Preservation Commission stands adjourned. The commission will hold its next regularly scheduled meeting on June 18th, 2025 in council chambers.